Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage, where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today, I'm doing my Blueprints review that came out earlier this year, and this is an indie puzzle game, but there's not going to be any spoilers in this. And two, I would encourage y'all to not necessarily be afraid that it's a puzzle game. See how far you can push yourself, see how far you can go, and you'll probably surprise yourself. But we're going to go over the story, the mechanics, the puzzles themselves a little bit, and just the depth of the game and the cost and all of that stuff and what I would rate it. So yeah, the story itself is that you've inherited a mansion that has rooms that basically change every single day. Each room, let's see, each door basically leads to 3 rooms, and they're randomized. And depending on what tier you're at, sometimes you get access to other different rooms in the pool that you can gain access to. And this really is like a roguelite where you're basically repeating, going through the mansion over time and every single day. And the goal is basically to get to room 46. The game tells you that very, very early, so I know that's not a spoiler. But there's definitely plenty of end game as well once you're able to accomplish that. Also, too, you really know nothing. You just know that your inheritance is basically solidified once you get to room 46, and then the rest of it, you all have to figure it out on your own. Every single room has a purpose. Every item has a purpose. And the game is way deeper than what we initially think. So let's talk about the mechanics a little bit. So again, this is a roguelite game, which means your playthroughs repeat. I'm almost on day 60. So I've almost done my playthrough of the mansions roughly 60 times by now during those 70 hours. And yeah, some playthroughs don't work out for me very well, so I quit pretty quickly. But then other playthroughs or other days basically take me, 2 to 3 hours, sometimes a little more than that, because there is a lot to actually uncover and there's a lot of puzzles to work through. Yeah, each door basically allows 3 room options for you to choose from, and then each room has, of course, as I said, has a purpose, and yeah, there are items too to also help you get to room 46. These are gems, coins, keys, and special items. Some of these can also be crafted. There's also a limited number of steps that you can take during each day, each roguelike session that you're playing. And when you run out of steps, basically it's over, the session's over, and you start a new day. There is also no saving during the day, so I'm actually thankful that Quick Resume is on Xbox, because there's times where I don't have time as a dad to necessarily pause it or just let it run or whatever. And so, yeah, it's nice I can switch to some other application while this just basically runs in the background. And that's honestly a pretty nice feature. But yeah, there's a little bit of crafting. There is also an inventory system, though I've never filled up my inventory. It kind of looks like that, but it keeps expanding as you keep accumulating items. So I've never had that inventory issue. Some playthroughs generally are very similar, but nothing is ever exactly the same. And the whole goal is to basically work toward things or even do prep from the current day to help you in your future day tomorrow. And you basically kind of have to start out and think, okay, these are the things that I kind of want to focus on for the puzzles that I want to work on or try to accomplish. And then you basically work on those puzzles. And then, too, you have to remember what type of opportunities there are. So sometimes you can mess yourself up, too, by going the wrong way, focusing on the wrong thing, thinking you've done something when you haven't. So it can be useful to kind of have like a little bit of a notebook, and also too to work through some of the puzzles, which let's talk about those next. The puzzles themselves, well, the possibilities and the things that you're going to be working on increase as you complete more puzzles. You basically complete a puzzle to get more that just leave more questions for you. But honestly, a lot of these puzzles are absolutely top-notch. This is a really, really well-done puzzle game. And as you progress, the puzzles definitely get harder. But yeah, again, don't be afraid to try. Also, play with others in the room. I actually play Blueprints with my kids, and they actually really enjoy it. And they've been able to pick up some stuff, see some things, and pick up on things that I otherwise wouldn't have thought of, even at their younger ages. So I actually think that's really cool. And then, yeah, my wife, too. We've also worked on playing through it a little bit. And so, yeah, play it with some other people in the room. It's actually pretty fun that way. But yeah, these puzzles, though, they are going to stretch you. Okay, they are actually pretty challenging. And some of them, they're going to take a long time to accomplish. And some of them, I don't know if I'll ever be able to. Some of them, too, are absolutely massive. Once you think you've accomplished the puzzle, it just keeps expanding. Others that you accomplish lead to more puzzles. But I am getting to a point in the game where it's like I have pretty much discovered all of the puzzles. I have completed a lot of them. And how many are there? There's probably over 100 different puzzles. Some big, some small, and somewhere in the middle, and some are also extended, and some I'm sure, too, haven't really found yet. But I feel like I'm getting close to the end. The depth of the game, it's incomprehensible probably within your first, 10 hours. You can't really understand how deep the game is until you can continue to play. And even when you get to the end game, it just continues to keep growing. Now, the puzzles, the depth of the story and the lore and the characters, it is slowing down for me. So that's why I feel like I'm getting toward the end, because there's less and less that I'm discovering per session or per day or per few sessions. Is that is slowing down, but it's still a huge game. And yeah, the cool thing too is that there are some moments in the game that absolutely blew me away. Just how deep the game is. And then you figure like, oh my word, that's a puzzle too. So yeah, every little teeny thing is kind of important to keep track of and pay attention to. And yeah, you really start picking up on those details. Also too, there's really good life lessons in the game to learn. And the further you get into the end game, the more you realize that. And the whole end game is after like room 46, which the end game is absolutely huge compared to just the actual game itself. But yeah, I truly love how the game is designed from the ground up. So the design, the aesthetic, the puzzles, the music, the lore, the stories you're reading, which there's not a ton of reading in the game, but there is a little bit. But yeah, there's no trend chasing in this. They have really made something truly unique. And to the music, how well it's crafted with the puzzles, with the areas, with the things that you're engaging and dealing with in the game. All of the music actually does really, really well. So yeah, for $30, it is definitely worth $30 in my opinion. Whether you want to play it with someone else, kind of a couch co-op thing, or whether you just enjoy puzzles or want to try something different, I think it would be worth $30. Though already this year, even though it's been roughly out for 6 or 8 months, there's still been some discounts already that I've honestly seen online. And then yeah, Black Friday is also right around the corner. But yeah, for my actual score, this is a 10 out of 10 puzzle game. It's set out and done exactly what it's wanted to. It's not trend chasing anything. There's no microtransactions. It literally is encompassing the entire game as it's priced. There's no crashes. There's no bugs that I've found. It's very stable for performance. The story is incredibly deep if you wish to dig into that. There's different puzzles, and there's also challenging puzzles. And again, the game kind of like works on increasing the difficulty of those puzzles as you work through some of the more simpler ones toward the beginning or the kind of beginning of the end game. And when you get toward the middle or the end of the end game, man, those puzzles are really starting to get truly challenging. Also, the life lessons in the games are cool. Just some things to think about, especially for younger folks. Those are some things that I really appreciate. And even being as a dad, or like a parent, it's pretty cool to actually see and be reminded of some of those life lessons. Again, the end game is massive. So like 70 hours, 75 hours in, I'm still not necessarily close. I still have quite a bit to accomplish, but there is less that I'm discovering. There's kind of like these cap ends when I've completed these series of puzzles, and then I just move on to the next branch and work on that. The only thing that folks probably won't really like is that it's a roguelite genre, but I think the game does a really good job of not feeling like you didn't really get anywhere most of the time for most of your sessions, because there are so many different avenues for you to work on the different puzzles that you have available to you. And as you progress and as you open things up and discover more things, there's just more and more and more branches. So again, it can feel overwhelming, but when you start a particular day or session, just focus on a few and then work on that from your playthrough from the very beginning. And yes, you will start accomplishing things, and you will see opportunities and actually progress in the game. Also, too, some of the puzzles, boy, they are really challenging. Some puzzles I've been working on basically since day 10, and I'm on like almost day 60. So I've had a lot of playthroughs, and there are some puzzles that I'm working on, and yeah, they are pretty challenging. But yeah, too, a lot of the things that people may not like is just simply a preference. So the game itself, as it's intended to be designed, 10 out of 10. They completely nailed it out of the park. It completely blew away my expectations. Again, this is just an indie game. I expected it to be a puzzle game, maybe be 10 hours, maybe be 20, maybe even be 30 hours. But yeah, I am 70, 75 hours deep now, and it's just incredibly much more deeper than I ever thought. And yeah, if roguelite isn't for you, if puzzles aren't for you, hey, that's totally okay. But if you do enjoy puzzles, there's a whole nother franchise that I think y'all would enjoy. And that's actually games by Cheyenne. So they've made the Myst series. That is MYST. Some of them you can actually get on console, others you can't. And depending on which one you have, you'll have to check. But they're basically all available on Steam. And I think there's 6. They also made another game called Abduction that was put out a few years ago. So yeah, if you're interested in puzzle games and looking for some more that are kind of like this, I would check those out, see if you like them. So yeah, overall, it's been a wonderful game. It's been a fun game to get lost in and explore and dig through the lore and the story and figuring out the puzzles. Yeah, the satisfaction of like figuring out something is incredible because you've been busting your A, working so hard, and it's just awesome. So thanks for tuning in, folks. You can always follow me over at Gaming Garbage 22 over at YouTube. We have playlists there, and if something's not for you, don't sweat it. You can move right on to the next thing, as there's various content every single week. But the playlist is how I work on breaking up all of my content so that it's all not just a jumbled mess. But still, some of those playlists are pretty big. But we have deep dives in the gaming industry called States of Gaming. We also have gaming news. We also have playthroughs of stuff. And then there's initial looks and reviews when I can actually get to those. And if you wish to, when I'm playing video games, you can follow me over at Twitch at Don't Turn On The. And yeah, when I'm playing, I'll definitely chat with you guys. But you need to chat first to let me know that you're there, right? Because if you're not interacting, I'm just not going to interact back. Because most of the time, that's just a waste of time. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Hopefully you guys are doing well, and we'll see you guys on the next one.